Oh, welcome to Swabies. No bees bought, British treatment-free beekeeping. Still not buying bees and still not treating bees. Thought I'd better do a bit of an update, seeing as it's been 6 weeks since we've done the last April update video. Last video we were increasing the colonies. In the 6 weeks that has gone past since then, we've gone back a little bit. We're still, I think, over the 2 Aprils, I think we're still doubled what we were at the start of the season, but only just now. So we started with 13. We did go up to about 39-ish, I think, and we're about sort of 26, 27 at the moment. I think we may be holding off on that. We have had a bit of an issue with some of the splits losing their queens and the queen fertility. So it's something I'm going to have to think about for next year. I've got a plan for 2027 to try and help rectify that problem. I think there's quite a few people been seeing the same problems. There's a few videos out and about as we speak on the queen fertilization issue and disappearing queen issue, so we'll see how that progresses and see whether or not anybody else can come up with some answers, because right at the moment excuse me, there seem to be a lot more questions than answers. So we've already done our honey pull for 2026. Not brilliant by any stretch of the imagination, but still about 3 times better than what we managed to pull last year. So you can't really grumble. We're on the right course. You know, we're not buying bees. We're not doing grafts. So in that respect, to be able to get to where we've got to, is you know, I'm relatively happy with that. One more quick note: with all the problems we've had getting queens to stick, these two were also a right royal pain. They've had quite a few queens. I mean, in fact, the one on the left there, I had a queen in there. She was laying. She'd been in there a couple of weeks. I took her out, marked her, laid her back on top of the frames, and the bees come out and immediately balled her. So, you know, if it's not one thing, it's another. But I was so disheartened with the way things were going with these that I actually grabbed 2 frames of eggs from the long hive over there and then put them into these 2. And I basically just left them there. I had a quick peek to see whether or not anything was happening. They looked calm, so I didn't pull any frames, and I just left them. And I left them for the longest period that they should take for the queen to start laying. So it was 28 days from the time the eggs went in to the time I checked. And I checked them a few days ago, and they are both queen right. The brood pattern, there's capped brood in there. The brood pattern looks great. There's plenty of stores around it, and they actually both look really good. So I don't know what that says about the problems with the queen sticking, if anything, but I just found that interesting. The mite counts in the hives. So basically the majority of the hives have got very few mites in them. Last count was done in the middle of last month. Some I've struggled to find any mites in. Now you can't say that all these hives are fantastic at keeping mites down, because some of them have had huge brood breaks thanks to the lack of queens in them. But this hive just here is the only hive I've got that's got a marked queen in it from last year. So the queen in this one's got a blue dot. She would have been marked sort of early May, April, early May time, and then I stopped marking them because I was killing the queens trying to mark them. But she's still in there. They produced a half decent crop. Their mite count is low again. So all the rest of them, like I say, I struggle to get up to 1 on them. And if you look back at the other previous videos, you can see what up to 1 looks like on the drop board. So just a quick note to say that I don't actually count the mites on the mite boards. I take an estimate of how many I think are on there, and I compare that to a chart of 4 different levels of mites, which I can show you in just a second. And then that way, that saves me actually sort of spending too much time trying to count. It was never going to happen. If it takes too long to do, then it's just not going to happen. So keep it simple, and this is how I keep it simple. But the worst one is the big one of these three. It was a very busy hive. They've still got 2 brood bodies on them now, but their mite count was high. But then again, so was the blue dot queen count last at the beginning of this year. That was high as well. So just a quick note before I show the records that I've accumulated so far. This time of the year in August, the nest sizes are actually starting to shrink down, so there's less cells for the varroa to actually hide away in, and thus they get knocked down to the mite boards, and the mite drop then is seen to increase. So any that we're seeing at the moment, it's quite a natural increase.